Welcome to the testing world. In this session, we are going to set up Groovy programming environment. For the Groovy programming environment, we need JDK, Eclipse, and on the Eclipse, we are going to install Groovy plugin. So first of all, we need to set up JDK. Before set up JDK, I'm going to the command prompt and checking do I have the Java or not. Even in my system, we have Java. I'm just showing you how we can check do we have Java or not. So Java space hyphen version. I have the Java with the 1.7.79 version, but I'm expecting that you're working on a fresh system. You don't have the Java in your system. So how we can set up the system? I'm moving to that kind of scenario. So I'm going to my browser and first I'm going to set up Java in my system. Google, and we need JDK, so download JDK. As we know, Java is coming in the two flavors, one is JDK and other is JRE. So for our work, we need JDK. Why JDK? Because JDK means Java Development Kit. So whenever we require to write any code, we need development kit. If you want to only execute the code, then you need JRE. But here we need to write the code. That's why we need to go for JDK. And once you go for download JDK, we are getting option of the Oracle website. Click here and we move to the Oracle. Now we need to download Java. We need not to go for any registration over here. Just accept license. Here we have JDK for 86 means 32-bit system. Windows 64 means 64-bit system. So my system is 64-bit. So I'm going to download this 64-bit JDK. If you don't have idea about kind of your system, what kind of system you are having, in that case, you can find out, you can right click on the My Computer properties and here it will show that you have 64-bit operating system. So you need 64-bit Java in that case. So I'm going to download this 64-bit Java. As we click on that, it will start downloading it. So once the downloading will done, we can execute, we can run it just by, it's an exe file. We can run it by clicking on that. So let it download. And I'm pausing in between. Once it will be download completely, start working on that. So once it is downloaded, move to the location. So it is downloaded in this folder. Here we have JDK exe file. Just double click on this. Run. And we need to follow the process like next. It will take some time to install the JDK. So in between, I'll pause the recording and once it is done, I'll move ahead. So once the installation is done, you will get that successful message. I'm closing it and you can check, you can start command prompt and check the version again. So that was the first step in which we have set up that JDK. We need to set up Eclipse. Going to the Google, download Eclipse. Here we have Eclipse download. You can go for Eclipse IDE for the Java EE developers. So either you can go for 32-bit or 64-bit. My system is 64-bit system, so I'm downloading 64-bit. A zip file will start download. You just save it. wherever you want. Once the download is completed, you can go to the location where you have downloaded Eclipse. So that was the Eclipse that I have downloaded. Just unzip it. It's a zip file. We need to unzip it. So once the file is unzipped, go to the unzip folder. Eclipse application. So installation is done. Double click on this file and my Eclipse Kepler is going to be started. So that was our second step. In first step, we have installed JDK, we have installed Eclipse. Now we are moving to the third step, install Groovy plugin. So by default, when we install Eclipse, we are not getting Groovy. I'm starting Eclipse and here is it asking for the workspace. We can give any location and my Eclipse is getting start. So once Eclipse started, now we can check Groovy by default installed or not. So I'm going for file, new, and we are not getting Groovy option here. So okay, go to others, and here also we are not getting Groovy options, means Groovy is not by default installed, or I'll say Groovy plugin is not there. So to set up Groovy in Eclipse so that we can do Groovy programming over here as well, go to help, install new software. We need to use this link from where Groovy plugin will download and click on add. I want to install Groovy. That's the location. Click on OK. So this is the location for Groovy for Eclipse. But if you are going for any other version of the Eclipse like Juno, Indigo and other versions, then you will have to use different link. You will have to find out the link from the Google. That is required. I don't want to go for these two optional items, so that is not required. So we just require Groovy compilers and Groovy Eclipse. Click on next. So I'm moving to the next screen. Just click on next, accept license and go to finish. So installation is started. It's going to take some time depending on the network speed. Once the installation is done completely, then it will ask for restarting the Eclipse. Select starting. It's restarting Eclipse. It is asking for workspace, so I'm giving workspaces Groovy. We can set any of the path over here. The path should exist in our system, and if this folder does not exist, that's fine. It's going to create this folder on this location. So workspace means whatever the code we are going to write in Eclipse will be stored on this location. So once installation is done, we can check that do we have Groovy or not. So I'm going to file and here new, we are getting Groovy project, means we have Groovy installed in our system now. If we don't get Groovy over here, you can go and check in others, and in others we should get this option. So if we are getting these options, means Groovy is successfully installed in our system. Now we are ready to work on Groovy by using Eclipse. So that's all related to the setup. And I just give a basic introduction about the Eclipse over here. So that area is called Package Explorer. In Package Explorer, we are going to get all the files that we are going to create. So all the files that we have created displayed over here in a hierarchical format. Area shows between, it is called editor. So here we are going to write code. Rest of the windows are not required. So if you want, you can close rest of the windows. It might be possible that by mistake you close this package explorer as well, but that is a mandatory window, that is a required window. So if we closed it, no issue in that. We can open it again. We can go to the windows, show view, and here just we need to select the right name. So I want to go for the package explorer. So just selected package explorer and we are getting package explorer again. How to create project, package, how to write code. In the next sessions, we are going to cover that. In this current session, our aim was to set up Groovy programming environment. For that, we have set up JDK. That was the first requirement. Then we moved to the Eclipse. We have used Eclipse Kepler. You can use any other Eclipse. Then I have gone through install Groovy plugin. This Groovy plugin is required to write coding in Groovy programming language. This Groovy plugin is coming with options which we are getting here in the Eclipse. Apart from it, the compiler which is required to execute Groovy programming is also installed by this plugin. So everything is set for the Groovy programming, and that's the location from where we can download Groovy plugin. If you're working on the Kepler, you can use the same location. If you're working on any other Eclipse, then you have to go to the Google and find out this plugin URL. One more option I can show you, like in help, you can go to the Eclipse marketplace, and here you can also search for the Groovy plugin. So let it open. Here you can search for Groovy plugin. So it's a Groovy Eclipse for Indigo, Groovy Eclipse for Juno. So if you are working on an Indigo Eclipse or the Juno version of the Eclipse, you can install it from here. But because they do not provide any version for the Kepler, that's why we have to go to the external link. But if you're working on the Indigo or Juno, that's the direct option that you can install it from here itself. So that's all we have for setting up Groovy environment. Thanks for watching this video.